If you're a salesperson and you've had challenges with lead generation or you've had challenges with closing sales, I'm going to show you a very simple technique you can use to be able to generate leads consistently. These are techniques that have been tested and used by our clients, and with these, they've been able to get remarkable sales. So just stay with me all through today's video. My name is Iyore. We train thousands of salespeople across several countries, including Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I'm featured on a lot of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I started out my career in sales where I was going to target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals, and I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals to my organization in a single month. I also participated in a sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I moved to another organization where I was able to double my portfolio by over 100% in just 11 months. I'm now the CEO for Advantage and our specialties in Salesforce management. This means work with team leads, CEOs, partnering with them to help them optimize their sales results and get sales results faster and in a record time. Ladies and gentlemen, let me walk you through how to generate leads so that you can have consistent sales. Now, remember, I started this video yesterday and I said to generate leads consistently, you must make sure that you understand the stage of your business or the stage where you are in sales. Imagine if you're someone who has not made any sales at all, you don't have any money at all. Your lead generation approach will be different from someone who is making some money and different from someone who is making a lot of money already. Now, let's start with those who are making a lot of money already. If you believe you're already making a lot of money, definitely these things can be outsourced. These things, if you make a lot of money already, you already have a lot of leverage to use for lead generation. And as I talk about it in today's video, you will see the kind of leverage you already have to be able to generate leads. If you're making just a little in between, this is where you can even decide to put some money into marketing, into ads, influencers, campaigns, partnerships. You can do all those kind of things. You have a flexible approach. Now, nevertheless, the things we're sharing today, you should still put them to work so that you can have a balance. Because sometimes some people reach out to me and they say things like, I've been doing a lot of ads and it's been working for me. All of a sudden, it's no longer converting like it used to. This is where what I'm showing you now still comes to play. This part, I don't think this part is really gets outgrown or outdated. The final point is if you're not making any money at all. If you're not making any money at all, you're just starting out, you've been struggling in sales, like how I started struggling initially when I started selling. This technique, oh, so simple and so powerful. Now, when I was working in a financial institution, given a target, selling is a transferable skill. The concepts used in selling are the same. This is the reason why, even though my background is in financial institutions, we've been able to help people generate sales tremendously in real estate, in tech, IT, in all kinds of business, whether it's transportation, logistics, whether it's people who sell passports and citizenship, people who sell luxury goods or luxury items across board, oil and gas, because the skills are transferable. As a struggling salesperson, one of the things my boss did for me to help me to come out of that struggle is list generation, building a prospect list. I can't overemphasize this enough. Building a prospect list. I remember every Monday morning, I'm told to come up with a list of potential prospects. Now, please remember, how do I give you a list of potential prospects when I don't even have anybody to buy from me at that point in time? Where do I get this list from? So he tells me, give me a list of potential prospects for the week, maybe 15 to 20 names. And I couldn't just generate any names because when I wrote those names, I had to have their phone numbers as well. Then he would sit with me and ask me one after the other and say things like, okay, this man, how do you know him? Okay, so what does he do? Why do you think he can give us business? We'll go through that list one after the other. So by the time I did this the first time and I came up with some fake names, he sat with me. By the time we were done analyzing the list, he knew that I didn't know what I was doing. He just said, please go and give me proper names. So I went back and I took my time to think. Now, the only thing that's required here, which makes it difficult for some people and also makes it effortless for some people, is the fact that it just requires mental power. It just requires the discipline to sit down and think and just take time to analyze and think deeply. Okay, where are the opportunities there? Understand that money is exchanging hands every day. Because money is exchanging hands every day, whether you know it or not, somebody in your network, somebody in your world is a beneficiary of this money that's exchanging hands every day. It's either is a first degree connection or second degree connection, meaning it's either somebody you know directly, or it's somebody who you know knows, or it's somebody who you know knows the person who is receiving that money at that point in time. So this means that the money is not far from you. It's not far from you at all. You just need to put these things I'm showing you to work now so that the money can get closer to you. And I'm telling you now, the first thing is that you must accept that you must be willing to draft a prospect list every week. Have a prospect list every week. Don't do the reverse. Possibly, see, when you put out ads, the leads are generated. They come in a list. That is a prospect list after the work. What I'm telling you now is to prepare the list before you even start the work. And one of the principles you can use is what we call memory jogging. Memory jogging, ladies and gentlemen, people who have put this thing to work I'm showing you, they've gotten results. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. Just practice memory jogging. What does memory jogging entail? It means go through your existing contacts. One of the ways you can build lists, let me start with you the first one. Number one, leverage your existing contacts. Leverage your existing contacts. People say things like, I've been calling my existing contacts, but they're not the kind of people that have the money to buy what I have to buy. It doesn't matter. It's either they have the money, or they have access to someone who has the money, or they know someone who has the money. Now, it's not everybody that has the money that would buy from you. It is not everybody who knows someone that has the money that will be willing to give you an introduction. But if you persist and you're relentless, you will find some who are willing to give you the introduction. And the moment you get the opportunity and you sell and you deliver to the highest value or highest level, and you stay away from payment plans and you do as much as possible to have the person pay outright, as much as possible. As much as possible, because I know that some cases you don't have a choice, but in most cases, if you can go the extra mile and make them pay outright for this service, your chances of the person becoming a partner with you is much higher. And referrals can start coming in from there. New opportunities can be coming from there. So leverage your existing contacts. Memory jogging means look at your contacts starting from the alphabet, letter A, all the way to letter Z. Take your time and dig through. If you comb through your contacts consistently and diligently, this means you look for the first name on your contact list and you think, where does he live? Does he have a neighbor possibly he can introduce me to? Where does he work? Can I meet his boss or one of his colleagues who possibly has the money to do business with me? Which church does he attend? Can he refer me to someone there? Who are his siblings? Where are they now? What do they do? You look at it like this and analyze it to break through it, so that at least you will see an opportunity. Then you can get on the phone and ask for the favor or ask for the opportunity. Now, for a lot of people, you have the capacity to be able to share commissions when you sell. This is where I tell people, be willing to give someone a commission if you know that it is difficult for you to get the person to give you this referral. If you tell someone, don't worry, I'm going to give you $1 million. I'm going to give you 500K. I'm going to give you 2 million. Depending on what your commission is, I was doing some work for a company. That commission from every sale was about 23.8 million. And I told them, if you promise someone I'm going to give you 3 million for a referral, this means that if the person buys, I'll give you 3 million naira. Come on, why won't the person be willing to do that? And it all depends on how you sell it to the person. Because at the end of the day, it's all about selling the opportunity and navigating the conversation in the right way. So the first thing to practice lead generation, take your time and go through your contact list. If you do this properly and do this enough consistently, it will be enough for you to get any sale you want. It will be enough for you to get at least, let's even start with at least 5 solid sales. Then you can start to get referrals from there. Now, this technique, when I put these things to work, and I started digging through my contacts, because my boss was insisting I submit a prospect list. When I submitted the list, years down the line, I realized that most of the deals we were closing, I was closing from the list. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, people who I didn't even know had that kind of money, man, that's how the opportunities were coming. The referrals were coming, the business was coming in. So practice list generation. And the first one, look through your contact list. The second one is practice what we call niche marketing. If I tell you, give me a list of 20 prospects for the week, you dig through get some of them from your contacts. Practice niche marketing as well. This means choose a target audience you want to specialize in. Ask yourself, where do my prospects gather? Are they gathered in a location? Are they gathered based on industry? Find out where they gather in common, where you can meet them in bulk. If it's industry, decide, I'm going to focus on a particular industry. Maybe it's a catering industry, for example. And you come up with a list of all the caterers and you're trying to you're calling, trying to book appointments, trying to show them why you help caterers achieve XYZ results, depending on your solution and depending on your ideal customer. The first law of lead generation is choose your target ideal customer. If you know your ideal customer, you know the kind of niche markets to focus on. Because when you think in terms of niches, you will be able to think clearly to identify where the opportunities are. Remember, niches are not wide, but they are deep. This means when you focus on a niche, you may not have opportunities across the board. You may not be able to see opportunities across an entire value chain. Maybe in terms of, oh, I'm talking to engineers, I'm talking to finance experts, I'm talking to oil and gas professionals, I'm talking to pharmaceutical executives. You may not be able to talk across, but you can zero down on pharmaceutical executives from the top to the bottom, across a value chain, across a certain type of products in the pharmaceutical industry. The opportunities are enormous. So when you think this way, in a structured manner, you think from your contacts, you think to niche marketing. The next thing or the next opportunity for you to leverage on is what we call connections in strategic places. Connections in strategic places. There are people who you meet from time to time who can buy your product or service, but because you didn't recognize the opportunity, you missed it. There's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is that part of the brain that helps you identify what's most important to you. So every time you look for, oh, I want to buy a new phone. It's some, well, I'm not calling it brand. I want to buy a new phone. Every time you see that, all of a sudden, everywhere you go, you start to see that phone. I want to buy a certain type of car. Everywhere you go, you start to see that car. The reticular activating system is activated. I remember one day I went to the mall to watch a movie with my then fiance, and we're standing on the queue. All of a sudden, I'm married for about 11 years now, so this was a long time ago. So we're on the queue together, and all of a sudden, I look back and I just thought to look what was behind me. And I look back and I realized that the CFO of a very large multinational was standing behind me. Now, the reason why I could recognize him, because he just dressed normally with his jeans, t-shirt. If you see the way he wears his suits online, you won't believe that you could see him in the jeans and the t-shirt. But that day, also his jeans, t-shirt, and his trainers, standing with his wife. I just looked and I realized it was one. I said, "Oh, good afternoon, sir." And I said, "Oh, hi." We just introduced ourselves. Now, how come I recognized him? Because I was practicing connections in strategic places. This means when you watch news, you see some top high-profile individuals. Note their names down. Hey, sales is a lifestyle. Note their names down and Google. Start to look out for these people. One of our staff practiced this a while ago, and I remember one day he met me and he says, "Sir, I realized that there's somebody, one of our prospects, this connections in strategic places, high profile person, he was going to be at a hotel for an event. And he would like to go for that event so that he can possibly meet him." And he went for that event and he met him. So sometimes don't cast all your eggs in one basket in terms of, don't just focus on your contacts. Have a blend. Because your contacts will give you a certain size of revenue. Niche markets will give you another size of revenue. Connections to strategic places will give another size of revenue. And in some cases, these three contacts kind of meet or kiss at some point. You find one person who is an existing contact, who is a connection in strategic places, and who is also in a niche market. So it's so powerful. The final point for lead generation is what we call, okay, let me use the word cold calling for it. It's just that cold calling is the end result of it. This means finding potential buyers on lists, getting directories or names and numbers on lists, and taking the time to call these numbers. Every time you get on the phone to cold call a prospect, whether or not he buys from you is not the issue. Whether or not he gives you the appointment is not the issue. The fact is you are getting better and stronger. One of the fastest ways to get people to become skilled in selling is through cold calling. I've seen salespeople, they just resume the role. They don't know so much about sales. We put them in a call center where they can focus and do cold calling. And in a matter of weeks, these people become so good at selling. Their confidence level increases. So one of the fastest ways is to practice cold calling. If you practice cold calling, especially at the early stages, when you're not selling properly, or you don't have a lot of opportunities, and you practice cold calling effectively, ladies and gentlemen, I have a lot of videos on cold calling on this channel. If you look through, you'll see them. If you practice cold calling effectively, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be amazed. You'll be generating leads and you'll generate opportunities. I'll close with this. Every time we go for monthly performance reviews with our clients, and I see people talking about how they are closing deals, I ask them, where do you get this lead from? A lot of times, they tell me from cold calling. So thanks so much for watching to this video. I'm sure you've been blessed. Please put these things to work. If you haven't liked this video, please like, please share this video with others as well. If you haven't watched this next video, please watch this. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe here as well. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.